Okay, good morning and welcome to the Aired Out podcast located right here at Fly on the Wall Productions at 185 North Main Street in Barrie. It's a beautiful, bright, sunny morning. Not too hot yet, which is wonderful as far as I'm concerned. Good sleeping weather last night, good sleeping weather tonight, but then that is all going to change. It's going to be hot throughout the weekend, and Sunday it is supposed to get super muggy with dew points high into the 60s. Nothing that we ever want to hear, or at least I don't want to hear. I don't want to live in the jungle. I'm okay with the temps just the way they are at night right now, for sure. Um, Jumping right into things, we'll grab the news this morning. Straight out of the gate, the man was arrested for the murder of Roberta Martin. She is the elderly lady in Enosburg who was murdered last week, and the the search really didn't go on for many days. Darren Martell was staying with Roberta's neighbors, and yeah, he's been charged and he faces a life sentence, and let's hope that he gets that and even more. Um, just absolutely disgusting. Not a lot else going on in the news. We know that there was a significant drug raid in Williamstown and some arrests made there. No surprise that people from the city were here and involved in that as well. Um, but really, not a lot going on as far as local news goes. And really, that's okay with me because we want to talk about and good things and kick off the fact that it is the Heritage Festival. So, all kinds of things happening. Make sure that you keep track of the Barrie Partnership page as well as the Barrie Heritage Festival page. All of the schedule is there, all kinds of great events. We're going to have bands and fireworks and an absolutely amazing parade. And just it's going to be a great time. So come on out, enjoy yourself, and have a great weekend. I do want to say that it's a double band weekend at the Den. Super excited for that as well. Tonight at 9 o'clock, Dirty Looks takes the stage, and tomorrow at 9, Lawless. So go on over to the Den and join in the fun, play some cornhole, pool, have some dinner. They have amazing dinners. Um, have some dinner and just have a great time. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you there. And somebody is telling me that they can't hear, so let's see if that is better. And I wouldn't be surprised because I never seem to be able to jump on to this thing after it's been, and I shut it down 3 times as well. So um, now we can. So much better. That will work. Anyways, sorry guys. We're going to jump right into our special guest this morning, Jaquan Johnson, who is, well, I know you're at least a year into living here in Barrie, and because I met you just a little over a year ago now. I met you actually the day after the floods last year when you showed up at Yipe Stripes with your big muscles and smile, huge smile, no matter the fact that you had just lost everything yourself. And a whole lot of determination to help us get things cleaned up down there. That's when I first met you. So let's talk a little bit about you, who you are, when you came to Vermont, and how you're doing.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, Raylene. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Been thinking about doing this for a while. I'm glad we finally got that to fruition. I've been a resident of Barry for almost 2 years now. I came up here halfway through my sophomore year of high school. Ended up going to Spalding High School in Barry, Vermont. Recently graduated from there in June of this year. So God bless for that. I really just I like helping people. Honestly, that's my main goal. I'm going to Castleton University to pursue a degree in nursing. So hopefully I can change this world in one more way. Because there's always a need for nurses, from what I've been told, and I will always try to further push that envelope and push that agenda as much as I possibly can. So
That's wonderful. I did not know that. That's an amazing profession to go into. It's can be thankless
yes,
a lot of times, but you don't see a lot of men get into the profession, and we really need men in that profession greatly. So that's freaking amazing. That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that
well, thank
for
you.
you. Yes. So you moved here from where?
I resided previously in a small town called Norton, Virginia.
Yeah.
And it was in southwestern Virginia. It was I think we were hardly considered a city. I'm gonna be honest, but we just crossed that threshold to be a city. I lived there in and out. I was put into the foster care system, so I got bounced around quite a bit. But always found my way back home to Virginia, and then I made my way up here.
Awesome. Well, we are definitely super happy to have you because you've been a great addition to our community on many levels. I mean, you are very active and involved in as much as you possibly can be, all the way to politics.
Yeah.
But football is your passion.
Yes, it is.
And yeah, and right now you're going on quite the adventure with football.
Yeah. So, an honor that I never thought I'd be presented in my entire life. I'm currently in front of you as 18 years old. For 13 years of my life, I've loved this game so much that it's gotten to the point to where I've beaten my body up over it.
Mm-hmm.
That there's been times where I thought I was no good at it anymore. But when I received an email from something called the Board of the Shriners saying that I was pronounced one of the best football players in the state of Vermont, in my class of 24, it brought me to tears. That the fact that for 13 years straight, I've beaten my body to the point of exhaustion, that I've beaten my mind to the point of exhaustion, that I finally had something to solidify. Like, I can talk it all I want, right? But it doesn't matter until there's a physical form of, hey, this guy will do it day in and day out without any hesitation. I didn't have that until then. I remember I got the email and I instantly broke down into tears. And I mean, tears. Like, I was bawling like a little kid. And I remember I called my dad and I'm just like, Dad, we're going to the Shrine Bowl. Like, we made it. And, he's like, oh my gosh, you did it. Good job. And I just remember feeling so much satisfaction in my body that
It was all worth it.
it was all worth it. That all the knee pain, all the back pain, all the times where I'm like, okay, maybe we should just hang it up. This isn't worth it anymore. All those times finally came to, you did it.
Uh-huh.
And that was lovely. But the Shrine game in its entirety is a legacy on its own.
Can you tell us a little bit about it? Because I don't know a lot
Of course.
about it at all.
So the Shriners Hospital is a hospital for children who have severe conditions that their families can't pay for it. I think a good comparison to it would be St. Jude's with cancer, but Shriners Hospital does it with all types of diseases. And it's honestly, the people that run it are absolutely incredible human beings that honestly, it makes me emotional thinking about it, because this is a lot more than a football game. That's just what's associated with it. These kids are so much stronger than I could ever be. Okay, I walked through these doors this morning on my own 2 feet. Some of these kids have to do that in a walker or in a wheelchair, and it's something that we as people take for granted often. Like, I got out of my bed this morning, I went and brushed my teeth, okay, but some of those kids don't get to do that, and it's not fair. And I get to meet some of these kids, and they're like, well, you're so big and strong, and I'm like, you are so much stronger than I could ever be. Okay, like, you are fighting a battle for your life. I'm just fighting to play a football game.
Yeah.
Like, you're twice the person I will ever be. And they don't see it like that. They're so accustomed to it, they think it's normal.
Well, in truthfully, it's pretty incredible that you see it that way, because not a lot of people your age or even my age can see it that way. We all sometimes sit with our own stuff and dwell on our own stuff and think how tough life is, but really when it gets right down to it, we don't know just how tough it is or could be.
No. And these kids really. So I had a meeting up at the hospital, at the Shriners Hospital, whenever all the kids got together from New Hampshire and from Vermont. They really put it into perspective of how lucky we really are. Some of these kids will never get a chance to play any sport at all, and that's something like. I get it. I'm a bigger guy, right? So when coach says get on the line for like running for conditioning, I'm like, oh, no, right?
Right. I don't run.
Yeah, I don't run, okay? I'm in the trenches. I block for you, okay? That's for those guys, the little guys, right? No. But some of those kids would enjoy that.
Yeah.
If they could just let go of the walker, let go of the crutches, or get out of the wheelchair and just sprint as far as their little hearts could take them. And I take it for granted so often. Like, and then that puts myself in check of like, okay, maybe let's think about how bad it really is, you know? Like, Jaquan, you woke up, you took a walk, you walked downstairs, got to the fridge, did all this. Those kids don't get to do that. And it's heartbreaking. So I have raised as much money as I possibly can for these kids. Raffle tickets. As you know, you bought a couple yourself.
I did.
So for $5 a pop, you had a chance to win a seat to a Red Sox game or a Patriots game. For those of you who bought tickets, and you're probably wondering, like, hey, when's that happening? That'll be August 3rd. I can't give you really time. It'll be at halftime of the Shrine game. But that's when you will either get a phone call or an email saying that you won something or another. There will be a ticket drawn for the Red Sox game and the Patriots game. If you bought one of each and you win both of them, remember, Quan loves sports. But other than that, it really is just such a tremendous honor. And the young men that I'm sharing a team with, it's even better, honestly, because we're all very like-minded individuals, love the sport, and it's just the people that I've surrounded myself with to play this with, it's phenomenal, right? Honestly.
Bon, are you asking, can you buy raffle tickets, or are you asking if you can buy tickets to the game? And can you still buy raffle tickets?
Yeah.
You still can. And are those available? You have Venmo, right? Set up
I do have Venmo.
Okay.
So
and maybe you can type that into the comments, or we will after. We'll make sure. I know your mom and dad are listening. Maybe they can put it in the comments, let people know how to get money out to you for those tickets. And,
of course,
somebody would need to give their information on that, which is just simply a name and a phone number to be added to the tickets. Correct? Yes. Yeah.
And shout out Mama Cassie. She handles all the money because Lord knows if I did, I'm irresponsible and I'd probably lose it. Love you, Mama. So thank you very much.
That's awesome. And so, and is there a way for us to watch the game? Do you know if it's going to be, live anywhere like CBT Sports does here with some games? Do you know if there's any way for us to watch it?
So I believe it might be there's the shrinershospital.org website that you might be able to catch it on there on pay-per-view. I'm not sure if Carl Parton is going to be filming the Shrine Game. I'll have to talk to him about that. But if so, I'm sure that you can catch it on
or
there.
anyone.
Yeah. I will. It's going to be
can-
streamed.
Yeah, and so
somewhere.
we can let people know.
yeah.
That's awesome. And so with this, your love of sports,
Yes.
but your career path, your future, really, this is where the paths cross because your love of caring for people is right here in this game as well, and who you're playing this game for. Like you said, it's a lot more than just football. This goes way beyond football, but it all goes into your career of wanting to be a nurse as well. And so here's where your paths literally cross. And I hope your road is super long with an absolutely amazing journey, because I have no doubt in my mind at all that you'll be amazing at being a nurse. Just the little bit of time that I've known you and what you bring to the community on many levels, as I said before, is we're lucky. We're lucky to have you. And I'm certainly happy that I got to meet you and become friends with you. So let's talk about what you do in the community. You currently sit on a committee. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yes. Justice, Equity, Inclusion, Diversity, and Belonging Committee. We call it JEDI B for short. It's a committee that focuses on racial and social issues here in Barre, Vermont. I've actually been previously asked to resign from that committee by the chairperson, but no animosity, no bad blood there, because I served my committee and I did it at the best of my ability. So I believe that as a young black man in the state of Vermont, I'm definitely not the majority, but there are things that there's an input I can give that can't come from certain people. So with that being said, I believe that that committee has now lost a member that was kind of key, especially with the youth.
I agree.
But I'm sure they'll figure it out.
No, why were you asked to resign?
So I was asked to resign because I had missed meetings. Simple as that. One of them, there was a technical issue with the entire meeting. Nobody attended it. And then the other two, I was working. Outside of most of my duties, I do like to make my own money. So I do have a job. And unfortunately, sometimes I can't make certain things.
Right, you can't make things happen. You can't. I'm assuming that most employers are not going to say, sure, you can check out for a couple of hours so that you can attend this meeting and then come back whenever you're finished. No worries about that. I mean, we all have to have employment, and not everybody on a committee can be retired or part-time employed, or, I mean, those things don't work. And I believe the diversity and equity meeting is it's fairly early in the evening too, isn't it?
Yeah.
It
so
starts at like 5 or something.
yeah, I think it's 5:00.
Yeah.
And with the job that I'm in, which is it's G-Force painting with I work with State Representative Gina Galfetti, which is an absolutely lovely experience. Okay, it's not, it might be painting and stuff like that, but to work alongside such an intelligent woman in Gina Galfetti is absolutely an honor in itself. Okay, her and her crew are incredibly good people, very patient people, because I had no knowledge of painting. I'm being taught the way of the brush, and it's phenomenal. Yeah. Absolutely phenomenal.
And like most of those jobs, you're always chasing the weather, and so you
Yes.
work when you can. And if you've missed any sort of time whatsoever during the week for weather-related things, then you stay late.
Yeah.
You don't, just because it's 4 o'clock, you don't punch a clock and head out.
No.
Even if you're done painting for the day, there's still a lot of things to pick up and a lot of things to do. So it's really unfortunate, and
Yeah.
actually, I agree with you. A very big loss for sure.
Yeah, and it comes down to the fact that most of my jobs are an hour, hour and a half away.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, sure, I do punch the clock out at 4, right? You have to include the cleanup time, so about 5:30, and then the travel back time. I'm not getting home till 6, 7, 6:30, 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think that the chair of the committee is lax in patience
Mm-hmm.
and in understanding, but some things you can't teach to some people because they're not willing to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I mean, there's not much else I can do. I'm not gonna fight about it. I'm not gonna cause a hissy fit because that doesn't get anybody anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
All I can do is help my community in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is.
Well, here's your chance. I mean, let's help them in different ways. Let's talk about where you're at here, and your feelings about where the city is at as far as not just you, but many are concerned as far as what we need to maybe work on.
So what I'm about to speak of, I'm just gonna put a warning out. It does not represent the black community as a whole. Okay, I am one person. I'm not the many. I'm not a spokesperson of the many. I'm just me. These are the experiences that I've had and what I think could fix these experiences. And there are more minorities in Vermont than just the black people
Mm-hmm.
or black people as a
Absolutely.
party.
Mm-hmm.
So this can apply to multiple races, not just one. I hate when people think racism and they automatically go, "Oh, black people."
Right.
No,
Yeah.
no. There's more minorities than black people. There is a very smaller minority than black people, and like Hispanics, immigrants, all these things. It's not just black people, and I think that's one thing that's the first issue, is that when we think racism, we think one group of people. No,
No.
it's a culture.
It's addicts. It's. I mean, people with mental health problems and
Exactly.
crisis, and it's a whole. Yeah.
I don't even know if racism really something. I think discrimination is a better word for it.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna focus on the issues that I've come in contact with here recently, and that I have since I've got here in the state of Vermont. Due to my larger stature, I'm 6'1", 275, 295 pounds. I'm a big guy. That intimidates people,
Mm-hmm.
especially in a predominantly white community. So, sure, I get stared down when I walk into a grocery store. I get looked at funny whenever I don't buy anything in the store, but that's okay. Because as long as you're not guilty of something, you shouldn't be upset about it. So, yeah, I brush off a lot of microaggressions that I come in contact with.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you who don't know what a microaggression is, it's a small act of racism that a lot of people wouldn't consider racism, so we call it a microaggression. A microaggression would be a lot of stereotypes, right? Like, white people can't jump, or all black people love fried chicken and watermelon, or all Hispanic people jump borders, or they can jump really high. It's stuff like that are microaggressions.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking that all black people steal is a very common stereotype that a lot of people use. I had a run-in 2 years ago when I got here at the Cumberland Farms. I had just started football camp every day after school. We had about 20 minutes in between when the last bell rang and, practice started. So me and the boys would hop in our buddy's truck. We'd go to Cumbies, grab something, go back, get dressed for practice. Well, I didn't buy anything. I didn't have any money at the time. I have money now.
Mm-hmm.
I have no need to steal. I work my hours, I get my paycheck, and then we're good.
Mm-hmm.
So, in all reality, I wasn't the one who was stealing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It was my buddy that was over in the corner. I have reprimanded him for this. I'm not going to use names because that's not necessary.
Right.
He was white. Okay? He was white. He was, throwing candy bars in his pocket and stuff like that. Walked out the door. I'm like, word. Okay, so my buddies are checking out. They leave. I'm the last one out the door. That's how I always am with all my friends because I don't want anybody to be left behind because I know how that feels. First one in, last one out. That's how it goes. And that's how friendship goes. You make sure everybody's covered and good. I turned my back. He's like, I had my hands in my pockets. Okay. I've been standing by the door the entire time. He goes, empty your pockets. I said, I'm sorry, what? Oh. He goes, empty your pockets. I'm like, sir, what's the reasoning for that? He's like, oh, well, you didn't buy anything. Okay. Heard. Why, if I didn't buy anything and I didn't move from the door, why do I have to empty my pockets? He's like, oh, well, it's just protocol. I'm like, okay. At this point, I have 5 minutes till practice. I don't want coach to be upset with me. I'm like, sure, fine, whatever. Pack of gum, phone, keys, wallet. Okay? That's all I had. He's like, where'd you get that pack of gum from? I'm like, it's half eaten. Okay? There's 16 sticks coming in that pack. There's 8 left.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he's like, okay. You can go right ahead. I'm like, what about everybody else? He's like, oh, that's not necessary.
Right. That wasn't protocol.
That wasn't protocol at all.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just some things where, like, you look back at it and you're like, okay, that was racism.
Mm-hmm.
That was me being picked out of a crowd of people and being questioned for no reason at all.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that happens quite often, like I said, due to my large stature, grocery stores with people. So I'm a cereal guy. I like cereal. Okay. It was I think so it was probably about a year and a half ago. I was here at the local Hannaford's, and I had just ran in to grab a box of cereal. It was a Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And I'm walking down the aisle. This lady's coming towards me. She has a child. And she grabs her kid and, like, pushes him behind her as if she was shielding him from me.
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment, I've never, like, questioned, like, my race or anything like that. I've never been ashamed of it. I've never tried to hide it, like, not that I can, but I've never been, like, ashamed of it.
Nor should you be.
No. But in that moment, for the first time in a long time, I was like, what did I do?
Mm-hmm.
What have I done to make her think that I was any harm to her or her son? I'm a very friendly guy. I really am. I try to be. I know that, I'm large. Don't get me wrong. I get that a lot. Ollie tells me every single day when I wake up that I'm a big guy. Okay. I get it. But it really did hurt me. And it's something that stuck to me ever since this day, because is it because I didn't smile? Is it because I was walking too fast? Is it because I look funny? Is it because she thought she was in danger? There's so many different variables about it that I can't pinpoint it because I'm not her. Mm-hmm. I don't know what she was thinking in that moment for her to do something like that. And that's okay. Because I'm not angry about it. I was just questioning why everything happened the way it did. But those things, those little things that people don't see as racism, is something that I've found that Barry, Vermont is very sheltered to. Is that there's not much education upon it, that people know what's right and what's wrong. And it's not all common knowledge like people would like to say it is. Like, sure, there's certain things you just don't do, right? But with some things, it's okay. not okay. It's not okay. But I had an incident with a kid in a grocery store. I think he was maybe 4 or 5 years old, max, and he ran over to me, and he's like, "I want to feel your hair." I'm like, okay. So I mean, this kid's maybe like 3 feet tall. I'm being so genuine. So I got down on a knee and I knelt over, and his mom's freaking out.
Right.
Okay, she's like, "I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." I'm like, "No, it's okay." She's like, "Oh no, but that he can't do that." I'm like, "I know he can't, but he doesn't know that yet.
Right.
He's 5.
Right.
He sees my hair. He's like, that looks like a rug." I'm like, fair enough.
He wants to feel your hair as much as he would want to probably at that age tug on Santa's beard.
Yes.
And that's so this is prime example of you could have easily shown him and made friends with this little boy instead of the parent who is always, I don't want to say, well, maybe a little uneducated herself or theirselves, thinking, okay, we can't do this. I can't let my child be typical in this situation. When it's a child, it is something different to them.
Yes.
So something totally different, but it's something that they can learn from.
Of course.
At that very moment. That's a connection that you can make right away with a child to let them know at that time, I'm no different than Santa Claus that you want to tug on his beard or anybody else. That it is a difference, and it's okay that they recognize the difference. It's how we as adults respond to that and how we choose to educate them.
Yes, and as a kid, I don't think in the moment he cared what color I was.
Exactly.
He saw hair and he's like, "Whoa, I don't have that. I want it." Mm-hmm. And that, I don't mind that. I don't mind being friendly with children because as a child you don't know any better. Mm-hmm. You don't see color. You don't even think about it. Okay, you just see something cool and you want to do it. But as you age and mature, there's less excuses. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So, and it's like another incident I had previously at the Walmart up in Berlin.
Yeah, this one is not.
No, this one disgusts me, honestly. And like I said, I'm a pretty friendly person. Mm-hmm. But there's only so much one person can take, especially from a group of individuals that it's targeted weekly, or almost every single day. But outside of your workplace, and it wasn't at my place of work, this was at his place of work, the fact that you can completely let go of the fact that you are making money and the fact that this is how you pay your bills, to call me a slur and to threaten me in the place of your work is absolutely unacceptable. Mm-hmm. It's disgusting. There's no excuse for it. I don't care what happened prior. I don't care who you are. It is absolutely unacceptable. Mm-hmm. And it's disgusting. And the fact that I went in there, I leave for college August 15th, right? I don't have much time at home left. I went to get my little brother Bradley a phone because once I'm gone, I don't want him to feel like I'm disconnected from him. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the fact that I haven't really, I've been back to Walmart once since then, because the fact of I have too much to lose to get into any physical altercation that might involve police. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This guy has nothing to lose. He's 21. Misery loves company.
Yes.
Misery loves company.
It does.
And that I'm actually just gonna leave it at that, because that's as civil as I can be speaking of it wise.
It's a good place to leave it.
Yeah.
Is to just know that it does happen.
Mm-hmm.
We all know it happens.
Yeah.
We certainly don't talk about it much.
No.
And sometimes I don't know that, for me, it's not that I'm not naive. I
No.
know it happens. I know many things. We talked about even in the addiction world. It's not a secret. We know it happens, and I'm not saying like I just shut it off and I want to be blind to it, because then if I don't think about it, it doesn't exist. Because that's not the case at all. It's just I know it happens, but that's not the way I choose to live.
Exactly.
And so my connections, and I too, sometimes I say things the wrong way.
Yeah.
I don't realize I'm being racist. I might say something that makes you feel, or someone else feel, a little bit on the outside, and I don't do that intentionally.
No, of course not.
We just don't always all think about how we present things in the moment, and it doesn't mean that we're racist. It doesn't mean that we're ignorant, but what it does mean is that there's still room for growth. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
And so if I said something to you that you felt was offensive, or maybe over the line in some sort of way, I would hope that you would say that to me, which I think that you would. I think that you and I would always have a conversation. But those conversations are what brings us to a place that we need to be.
Yes.
In most situations. The situation at Walmart is just straight up ignorance.
Yes.
That's straight up ignorance. It's somebody looking for a fight. It's somebody that has a clear understanding of what they have just said, and they don't give a shit.
Exactly what that is.
And that's where racism becomes very apparent and blunt in my opinion. That's not something where you slipped up and you maybe said something that was a little hurtful without meaning to do so. That instance, that situation was totally different, and I'm deeply sorry that ever happened to you, and I am actually, quite frankly, pissed off that the employer refuses to do anything about it. And that is where that's where the big injustice is done.
Yeah, and honestly, it comes down to the simple fact of I'm a human being, and no matter how much I might not act like it bothers me in the moment, mentally, that sticks with me. It sometimes, even if it's severe enough, it'll put anyone, not just me, but anyone, in a depressive state. And the mental health nowadays, it's so crucial to one's human life that it's scary, the places that your brain will take you sometimes if you let it. And this is coming from someone who's gone the mental health route, who's dug himself out of the deepest hole of depression and anxiety, and has eventually, got to the point to where I asked God to take away the one thing that he gave me, which is human life. I didn't want to walk this earth anymore. I was tired. I was so tired. But that's not an option. Because if I were to leave when I had planned to, then everyone who's ever put me in that state wins. And I can't have that happen.
No, you can't.
I can't be a loser. I'm sorry.
And it's a huge loss for all of us, too, because as I have said throughout the show or throughout this interview, whatever you want to call it, what you bring to the community, and really just your attitude, your smile, your happy, and your hugs, and you're just this full of life energy that, quite frankly, many of us could use. And going back to the day after the flood and being there with you, and it was an inspiration to know here's this young man who his family has just lost everything, doesn't even know where he's going to sleep tonight, maybe up at the BOR, maybe not. You didn't have shoes on your feet, and you were down there busting tail with a smile on your face, hugs to give, words of encouragement to give to others that were feeling absolutely defeated. I don't even think for 5 minutes you stopped to say, this is what I went through, or this is where I'm at. That isn't where your head was. Your head was, in order to feel good inside, I need to give to somebody else so that they feel good, because that good is going to bring so much more to me than my own stuff.
Yeah, honestly, I just needed not to think about it. That's what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
I needed a distraction, and whatever it was, I didn't care. I needed to help someone.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't going to say a word about my house. I'm not going to say I didn't care, but in the moment, I needed something more.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing those people in tears and in shambles and not knowing if they were going to be able to pay their bills after this, it woke something inside of me up that hadn't been there before.
Mm-hmm.
That these people, they had children, they had lives, they needed help. And if that meant I had to go barefoot because the boots I had were way too small. I have a size 15 foot. Okay, it's not an easy shoe to find.
No.
I was squeezing into 12s for about 2 hours, so that's when it was slowing me down too much. So I took the boots off, and yeah, it was disgusting. It was gross, all that. But for me to be of use, I had to find a way to speed up the process as much as I could. So yeah, the shoes came off.
The shoes came off, but the amazing Valerie down at Yipes made sure that didn't last long. No, she made sure that you got some boots, you got some shoes.
I did.
Yeah.
And honestly, all the people who, after they found out, that rushed right to me and asked me what I needed, how they could help, the sense of community I'd never felt before.
Mm-hmm.
And all I knew is that this city needed help. And by all means, I am not Batman, okay? I can't help this city in some ways, but with what I could, I did it. I did it as the best of my ability.
So even with your few experiences that you have had, do you feel that you've also gained a lot here as well?
Oh, for sure. Oh, this city is so good. This city is pure. This city is patient. This city is resilient. This city is my home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? There's not many places that I can say that I enjoy coming back to than this place. Okay? Everything about it. The community, the people, our leaders, our local leaders that I've been very involved with in the last year. There's so much more to this place than people would like to think. Yeah, we have our flaws. We do. Every place
Everybody
does.
does. Every place does.
But if you try to pinpoint those things and you look for them, it's gonna be atrocious. Okay, it's gonna be horrible. But if you look for the good spots in this place, our local shops, right? Shout out to Two Loco, the burrito place. I love that place. Okay, Tasty Bites that just opened. That woman achieved her dream. She started in a food truck in Williamstown.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a place of opportunities. You just have to look for them.
Yeah.
Our Aldridge Library, Children's Days, reading to little kids. You know, our local council, our mayor, incredible men and women that are leading this community in the way that it needs to be led. It's so fantastic when you look for the good things in this place, what you will find. Yeah, sure, the schooling system, a little funky, right? Every schooling system is. No matter where you go, there's going to be something you don't like about it. That's okay, though, because when you just suck it up and deal with it, you'll find it that it's really not that bad. Like going to proficiency-based grading, what is that? Okay, I had A's and B's. Now you're telling me my work is like exemplary, proficient, partially proficient? Partially proficient didn't sound right. I'm like, okay, that doesn't sound good. Turns out when you put it to a GPA system, it's like a C. I'm like, okay, I don't like that, but I'll take it. Okay? This place has my heart entirely, and I wouldn't rather anything else have it but the city of Barry, because I'm so dedicated to the place that has built me to be the man I am today, whether it's on a football field, in a classroom, in the community, no matter what it is. I love it so much.
And maybe someday soon right here in our hospital or a doctor's office or a nursing home or, I mean, Lord only knows where you'll go from here.
I will go wherever the good Lord takes me.
But hopefully, no matter where it is, you will always call this place home now.
Oh, for sure. And there's nowhere else I'd rather reside. There's nowhere else I'd rather call home than Barry, Vermont. And coming from a different place, people are like, dude, this place is horrible. I'm like, you have no idea how good this place is. Mm-hmm. I get it. You've lived here your entire life, but you don't understand the beauty that resides into this place. The passion that flows from this place. The sense of community that you get when you walk down Main Street from all the businesses and everyone that really bounce off of each other, that support each other. When it comes down to it, there's no place I'd rather be than Barry, Vermont.
And that's hard for a lot of us to see sometimes. Like you say, some of us, myself included, were raised here. We're born and raised here. And I still think it's absolutely an amazing place to be. I love it here. I can't imagine being anywhere else. I wish it wasn't so expensive to live. I wish things were much more affordable and not so hard on people. But as you say, that's everywhere. And the one difference in that for me here is I feel like we have each other's backs. Mm-hmm. I think that if you truly needed something, all you need to do is reach out to your neighbor or your friend, and they would be there. We are definitely a community that rallies together, and you're always going to get the nitpicky, comments from somebody. You're always going to be in this situation where there's always somebody that's going to be an ass, but for every person that's going to be an ass, there's 50 people that are going to hold you up. Yeah. And that's something that we have here that many, many, many people will never experience. And we're super fortunate in that way.
And a wise man once told me that if my neighbor's doing good, I'm doing good. And when it comes down to it, if you listen 2 times as much as you speak, you'll learn that the problems we have here in Barry are very simple to fix. You just need the right people, the right mindset, and it can get done. Mm-hmm. And that's with any place, no matter where you're from. If you really want to do something, put your heart to it and you can get it done. You just got to believe. And that's all it comes down to is if you don't burn yourself out. Like I get going 100 miles per hour for months on end to get something done. I understand that. But if you just really stick with something and ride it out through the storm, all your problems will be fixed as long as you really want them to be.
So Heritage Festival this weekend. Are you looking forward to that?
I love the Heritage Festival.
You do?
I absolutely love the Heritage Festival.
And yeah, what's your favorite?
Oh,
What's your favorite part?
That's hard.
Any favorite part?
so there's this local taco truck that I heavily enjoy.
The taco show?
The Taco Shell.
Yes, with Joe and Connor.
Oh, yes.
We love them.
I love those guys. Connor especially, man. Oh, that little guy's got so much energy. I love it.
Yes, he
Love
does.
it. He might be 11, but oh my gosh, he's a little rocket.
But so you like the tacos?
I love the tacos, but the parade.
Yeah,
The parade's my favorite part.
it's gonna be a kick-ass one this
gonna be
year
a
too. It's gonna
wonderful
be
damn
yes, they
parade.
have quite the lineup. So
Don't miss
it's awesome.
it. Don't miss it. I don't know where you are right now, where you're listening from. Make your way to Barrie for the Heritage Festival parade. Okay?
That's right.
Don't miss it.
No.
Don't miss it. Don't be
And
that guy who's like,
are you walking in the parade?
no, I'm just playing. Yeah, I'm going to. I don't know who I'm walking with yet.
Right.
But I'm
There
gonna
are
be in
all
there.
kinds of options where this is. So we know we'll see you at some point.
You will.
But who knows?
Who knows who?
Maybe you'll
Where?
be at the front of the line, and then maybe you'll be at the back of the line.
Who knows?
You
Guess
ne-
you got to
you
watch the
never
whole
know.
parade to find out.
That's right. So cool to see. And then you are leaving on Sunday,
Yes.
headed to.
Castleton University. That's where they're having the Shriners game and the camp. 3-a-day practices for a week straight.
3
Sounds-
practices
Yep.
every day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sounds
You're going to do a
absolute-
lot of running, whether you want to or not.
Oh, yeah. I'm also going to do a whole lot of sleeping.
Uh-huh.
So, honestly, like I said, I'm honestly blessed to do the things that I'm doing with the people I'm doing it with, and even outside of football, just in life in general, I've been blessed with such a wonderful family that that have just elevated me to places I never thought I'd be, honestly, and I can't be more thankful for them. The last name Deering comes with a lot of things, but I've tagged it to my jersey, so it'll say Johnson hyphenated Deering, just because if I didn't, it wouldn't be right, because they're the only reason I'm there in the first place. So, yeah, I love all of them, every single one
I
of them.
think they're pretty damn proud of you, too.
I'm proud of them, honestly.
I know a lot of us are.
And honestly, in anything any single one of them do, Brad is twice the football player I'll ever be. And I mean that. That kid has such a pretty spiral, it's ridiculous.
So we need to be watching out for
Oh, watch out for Brad.
Brad Deering.
Brad is dangerous, and Bella on a soccer field is absolutely ridiculous. Okay? She is technical. Her footwork is slim to none. You'll find some better. Oliver could swing a bat at the age of 5 like he's 20. Okay? And, oh my God, Leah, she's going to start pursuing volleyball. Dad, and whatever he starts pursuing, Mom does her thing. Mom wrangles all the cats and just disperses us all to what we need to do.
Right, where you need to go. She's
my
got
gosh.
her hands full.
Oh,
for
Mom
sure.
has her hands full constantly.
Uh-huh.
Okay? But Mom makes it look easy.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand is that she's in charge of 7 people, including herself. 7 people, 3 dogs, okay? Mom is kicking ass 24/7, okay? And only if I don't think she understands how much she really does in a day, because it all goes by so fast.
Right.
And hell, all I have to do for her is pay a Hulu subscription so she can watch her show at the end of the night.
There you go.
And you're damn right I'll pay that $8.99 every month when it comes through.
That's right. Why not, right? Yeah.
Honestly,
sometimes it's the little things, right?
it is the little things that she appreciates. And
Yeah.
honestly, that's all she ever really asks for is the little things. And as a cohesive household, we make it look pretty damn easy.
Yeah.
and it's so impressive.
Well, there's a lot of you,
There
and
is.
I mean, let's face it. Now, I mean, you have a huge family. You have several siblings who adore you, and you adore them, and it just worked, and it worked right away.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a
See, this is where you were meant to be.
it's like I really am just one of their kids.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what I look like, the DNA doesn't match up, but I was always meant to be there.
Yep. Well, I know they're happy you're there, and I know many that are happy you're here, for sure. So before you get me crying all up, um, you're going to Castleton for the week.
Yeah.
You're going to practice like crazy, and then on the 3rd is the big game.
Yeah.
Who I'm assuming the entire Deering family is going to be there watching,
Yeah.
cheering you on with so much pride, and as will a bunch of us. And they're going to draw the raffle tickets that day.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be talking about that soon as well. And then you're going to come back here, finish up your summer, and then right into college.
Yeah.
And it's going to move fast.
Too fast. Too fast.
Yeah. It's all going to move fast. So, well, thank you so, so much for coming in. You and I have talked about doing this for quite a while now.
Yeah.
And some days it works and some days it didn't. And today it worked, damn
Today
it.
it
Here
did
you
work.
are. And I'm so proud to have you here. And I'm so proud to know you. I'm honored to know you and have you be a part of my life. I mean, you've done a lot for me too. And I am super grateful. And whether it was helping or just giving me that big old smile and a hug and saying, hey, Ma, how you doing kind of thing. And I really appreciate you and everything that you bring to us here.
Well, thank you so much. That really does
And,
mean a lot.
Yeah. Before we go, I want to remind everybody, I did post it this morning, but you got about 30 more minutes to get up to the auditorium to Veggie Van Gogh. That is going on until 10:30, and you can go up, drive around to the back. You don't have to get out of your car, none of that. You tell them whether you're there for just your family, how many people are in your family. You are able to pick up for other families that can't necessarily make it. So you can do that as well. You just got to let them know. And so take advantage of that while you can. If you need to, please. Again, it's going to be a nice sleeping weather tonight. It's going to be a hot day, nice sleeping weather. Tomorrow, even hotter. Sunday, hotter because it's also going to be muggy. Sunday is when that dew point rises well into the 60s. The humidity is just going to be slamming us hard. So drink lots and lots of water. Stay hydrated. Check on your neighbors. And no matter what, have a really good time this weekend. Come down, join in on all the festivities. There's so many free things happening down here. There is no reason at all why this weekend can't be one of your best weekends this summer.
Don't stay in your house this weekend.
That's right. Get out. Enjoy. It's going to be beautiful. So thank you all for joining us. Have a great weekend, and we will see you back on Monday. Over and out.